All right, everybody, we'll start with questions for Coach. We'll start with Ben and then go to Ryan.
Tony, just with Chad, was that a spur of the moment this afternoon thing, or did you kind of know going in?
Yeah, we knew there was some soreness there to overcome, and eventually it just became a thing that risk versus reward. I mean, clearly we're playing a really tough opponent. We knew we were getting an SEC weekend type starter on the mound against us in Watson, but we just feel like it's too early in the year. So no real big issue there. It's kind of like the crochet thing. As much as you try and tell people that everyone's looking for more, it's truly just the theme that we're always going to have. We had it when I was a pitching coach myself. We're going to be conservative early in the year, and we're going to be aggressive late in the year with our guys.
And then what did Heflin do so well, and just how big of a pitching performance was that for you all?
Yeah, I mean, you hate to be over dramatic, but what he did overall was seize the day. Whatever Eminem's song is about when it's your moment. I don't know. I mean, that was pretty special. Now, he could have went out there and just, taken advantage of the opportunity and won the game, but he kind of did it in spectacular fashion by really pitching like he's capable of. I mean, he had the knee injury, so he's out for a while, but if you really rewind to some of his outings the year we were in the regional, I mean, at North Carolina in a regional, he kind of pitched like he did tonight. It just was for a shorter time because it was out of the pen. So he pitched like he's capable of, but was a pretty cool moment overall for him to just kind of take advantage of the opportunity, and he took it and run with it, and that's it.
We'll go to Troy next and then Wes.
Yeah. Just how pleased were you with the offense in the first two innings, and then I guess the consistency? I think you all had base runners in all but one inning after it seemed like the past few weeks it's been a little inconsistent throughout the game.
Yeah, no, it had been. It had been in waves, and there was just a different vibe in the air than we've had maybe in the last, I don't know, I think since we've been at Georgia Southern. A little different vibe in the air, and there certainly weren't a lot of spectacular hits. I mean, Luke crushed that one, but it was guys just fighting at the plate, starting with Liam. I mean, 2 strikes, kind of shortened up a little bit and just punched the thing through the middle. And then there were a bunch of others where guys just found a way to scrap and get on base. And that opened up the doors for a couple of the better swings later in the game. But we made their guy work, and he's awfully good. And then they brought in a couple good arms out of the pen too. And I think our guys were feeling good. So I think the attitude carried over into the at-bats.
Yeah, Tony, when you're, I guess, going into a season, I know you had a bunch of arms, and you talked about those competition for weekend spots. How close was Will in that competition? And was he the guy who, as soon as you found out you were going to play it safe with Dallas, it was like, boom, Heflin's the guy? Or was that a tough call also?
No, I think he was the wise decision, and I'd go as far as saying easy decision, especially with all the things that have happened. I mean, EP taking the ball and running with it the other night, Hundley and Redmond being taxed the way they were last Sunday, even though plenty of time has passed. It wasn't really in the cards for them to pitch for us at all tonight. But dating back to the beginning of the year, Will is different than those other guys because he's older. He's one of those guys, we know what we got, and he doesn't need to be told this is your role or that's your role. He can pretty much kind of handle anything. So if it's come in and just get one lefty out or get us out of a jam real quick because a young guy maybe was a little weak in the knees or something like that, or start a game or close a game, he's kind of done it all. And so maybe we take that for granted, but I think he's mature enough. Heck, he's married now. So he's mature enough to throw whatever we handle at him. And he's always going to throw strikes and can always field his position.
Troy, do you have a question?
Yeah, Tony, when you mentioned Sunday about one of the best parts of February playing a bunch of different situations, when you look at Leith going down Sunday and Chad getting scratched today, what does it say about this group that they've handled 2 adverse situations and found a way to win those games?
Yeah, and I think you're cutting it short if you don't include the whole team, but at the same time, it's Coach Anderson's pitchers. They're showing that if you throw strikes, we at least have a chance. But then there's also guys that, rather than freaking out and making it a bigger deal than it is, it's a baseball game. And you're crazy if you don't want the coach to say, hey, you have the ball, regardless of what inning it is or for how long. And when you get the ball, you take it and run with it, like I said earlier. And then when the coach decides to take it from you, then you hand it off to the next guy. And odds are, if you've been working hard as a group, what the pitchers do a ton with Woody and Q and Frank, then the guy you're giving the ball to is probably a guy you can trust as well.
We'll go to Hayden next.
Coach, we have 7, 8, 9 due up in the 6th. All three get on, then all three score. How much easier does that make it for the top of the order to produce runs?
Yeah, it really does. And what we've wanted is that lineup where 1 through 9, it's kind of all the same, but we've had a few guys scuffle a little bit. You got a guy down there in the midst of that, Fergie, who's a top of the order guy. You got a guy, Luke, who's a middle of the order guy, and Christian, who for about a 7-8 day period was our best hitter in scrimmages leading up to the season. You can ask any of our players that. So guys that are certainly capable, but they bring in a lefty with a really good arm. And so that matchup is supposed to be in their favor, but our guys really battled. And then, the guys at the top of the order, kind of clean up the whole thing. And it makes it a little easier on them for sure when the other guys are contributing as well. So hopefully it's a theme we can carry over regardless of how the coaches decide to, move guys up and down in the lineup.
And we'll do one more, go back to Wes.
Tony, I know that, obviously everyone's playing by the same rules, so it's not like y'all are the only guys who got to bring back some old guys this year. But having guys like Will and like Pete, that they just, in college baseball terms, it seems like they're old men. They've been around so long. How much on a daily basis when you're putting together lineups, when you're thinking of scenarios, how nice is it to have guys like that who you can say like, okay, I can throw different things at them and it's okay?
It's comforting, and it's a lot less stress on the coaching staff, which has kind of made it a topsy-turvy deal early in the year, because you've seen some of our boys stress about, man, this is it. This is a really good team, and we got to do this and that. And tonight was a night where they just kind of had fun. And if you're playing hard, no one's going to question that you're being giddy or not taking it serious. So as long as you're playing hard, you can have as much fun as you want. And there was that nice combination tonight, led by all the older guys. But if the older guys tense up, the younger guys are going to follow suit. So with guys like that, though, that are the extra older guys, like you're talking about, the grandpas on the team, I think the thing that matters most is they're so ingrained in this program now. It's literally their life. And they got a lot more life ahead of them once they leave here. But for now, it's everything to them. So I think there's no dollar value or run value you can put on that, or an ERA. It goes a long way, and that was on full display tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.